When you get old enough and you've experienced enough of life and you look back at everything that you've experienced, you'll probably notice a pattern. You'll notice that there's a certain flow to life, a synchronicity, a chain of events that occur that are all connected that lead you down a certain path, as if there was some kind of mystical force guiding you. You realize that everything happened for a reason, and that the experiences that you labeled as bad weren't really bad, but actually blessings in disguise. It was exactly what you needed to experience in order for you to learn the lesson or gain the skills that you needed to help you in the next step of your journey, or to wake you up and get you to realize that you were going in the wrong direction. Now, it's hard to see that when we're younger because we haven't experienced enough of life yet, so we don't have the wisdom and the knowledge yet to understand that, because we're still trying to figure things out, right? But when we get older, we gain that wisdom and it becomes clear and we can see it. It's also hard to see it when you're currently going through a hard time. Because when you're going through a hard time, you're overwhelmed and stressed, mentally, emotionally, and physically. You're in a negative state of mind and you can't think clearly. You don't have the clarity of mind to see a way out of the situation, let alone see it as a blessing in disguise. But when you get past it and you get to the other side, you can look back and see clearly why it had to happen. It's like the chaos theory. All these events that occur may just seem like random events when you look at the small picture, but when you look at the big picture, you'll find that there's a higher order to these events. All these random events fit perfectly together in a harmonious way to guide us in the right direction, to bring us back into balance. There's balance to all the chaos. So there's definitely unseen forces that are guiding us, constantly moving us towards balance and evolution. We may not know exactly what it is or how it works, but there's definitely something out there that's guiding us. And this realization comes with age, with experience. The universe is always conspiring to guide us in the right direction. It's always giving us instructions on what to do next, and these instructions come in different forms, as a feeling, an inspired thought, an intuitive nudge, opportunities, invitations, obstacles, etc. Think of one of those mouse mazes. The key is to train the mouse to navigate through the maze to get to a piece of cheese on the other end, right? So let's say that every time that the mouse takes a wrong turn and goes down a wrong path, it receives a small electrical shock. Now, the mouse might take the same wrong turn several times before it finally learns, but eventually, after it gets electrocuted enough times, it will learn not to go down that path, and it will eventually learn to navigate through the maze with minimal wrong turns. So the electrical shocks that the mouse receives is intended to teach it a lesson. It guides the mouse down the right path. So it's not really a bad thing, it's a good thing, right? Blessing in disguise. So think of life like that maze. You need to navigate through life to get to your destination, to get to your cheese. You receive guidance from your higher self through feelings, inspired thoughts, intuition, instincts, etc. And if you follow this guidance, then you'll be guided in the right direction. But if you don't listen and you veer off track, you make the wrong decision, you take the wrong turn, you get electrocuted. You will experience events that are intended to get your attention to make you realize that you're going in the wrong direction. Now, it's usually very subtle at first, so it's very easy to miss the message if you're not awake enough. But if you continue going in the wrong direction, the more resistance you're going to experience. You're going to attract more and more intense and traumatic events until you finally wake up and acknowledge that you're going in the wrong direction. So it may start out like a tap on the shoulder, a subtle warning, but end up as a punch in the face if you don't learn the lesson early. The sooner you learn the lesson and gain the wisdom, the sooner you can make the proper adjustments and move forward, and the awakening will be soft. But the longer it takes you to learn the lesson and you keep going in the wrong direction, the more intense and traumatic the event will be that finally wakes you up. And it's going to be a rude awakening. It's not going to be fun. Some people refer to this as hitting a wall or hitting rock bottom, so you want to avoid that. You want to catch yourself as soon as possible whenever you start to veer off track. Acknowledge the signs right away so that you can make the proper adjustments as soon as possible. And you do that by becoming aware of the signs. Not playing the victim and blaming others for what happens, but understanding that it's just the universe conspiring to guide you in the right direction. Don't automatically label bad experiences as bad. See what you can learn from the experience. Look for the positive in every experience. Be grateful for every experience, even if you think it's a bad experience, because every experience has something to teach you. Because remember, failure is where we grow. You learn from our mistakes. We gain wisdom from our failures. As long as you learn from your mistakes, then you're always going to gain something. So be grateful for your failures because they teach you valuable lessons. Be grateful for your rejections because they prevent you from going down a path that you weren't meant to go. Be grateful for your losses because it creates space for something new and better to come into your life. Be grateful for your mistakes because they make you realize that you were doing something wrong. Be grateful for all the pain that you endured because it makes you a stronger person. And even be grateful for your haters because they only fuel your fire and determination to get back up whenever you fall. Remember, everything happens for a reason. Everything that you are going through is preparing you for what you asked for.